This right here is why we're almost certainly going to lose. Hello everybody and welcome. I'm Count Christo and this is the Uberreich challenge. We are playing as the United States and we are in a interesting world. So this is a challenge that I have attempted in the past, a long time ago, but not recently. And I figured, we never beat it, so let's come back, give it another try. What this challenge entails is fighting against Germany, but not Germany as you perhaps know it. If we tag over to Germany real quick, I'll show you what madness I have wrought. So this is Germany, but they start the game with every single technology researched, including all of the doctrines from both air and naval and land. They also have both sides of all of the mutually exclusive trees. Not only that, but this Germany has maxed out all infrastructure in every province and all military and civilian factories. They're half, not quite, they're half the country civilian and half the country military. So they have a total of 437 starting factories. They also have level 10 forts on their entire 1936 militarized borders, as well as coastal forts, level 10 on every coastal 1936 province. They also have a level 6 radar, which nicely covers a sizable chunk of mainland Europe, and a nice level 10 airbase in Brandenburg. This is the beast that I have made myself, and this is what we are going to try and defeat as the United States of America. If you remember, way back in the day, I have tried this challenge before. I tried it in multiplayer. We had something like 16 different players playing as like 16 different countries around Europe. We lost. We lost. Germany is insanely strong. Let me just tag back over and show you a little bit more of why that is. So as you saw in the introduction, they have 142% factory output. They have a 140% production efficiency cap, which grows, retained 70%. They have 55% lower factory bomb vulnerability. Did I mention that they have maxed out anti-air in every province they own, by the way? They also have some pretty insane army bonuses. For example, they only take 90% normal attrition, not so horrendous. They plan at 195% speed, that's pretty bad. They get 195% air superiority. What else? They have 120 hours of supply grace. They only have 60% the normal out of supply penalties. They have 70% max planning. They have a lot. They have a lot. They are on historical settings, so they will go down the normal path, and we're going to try and defeat them as the United States. But we are not without some tricks up our own sleeve. I have customized, for example, the way in which different nations around the world will go down their focus trees. Let's take a look at how I've done that. So here it is. Here is the AI behavior that I've set up. You'll also notice we are on civilian difficulties. That'll be another thing going in our favor. But if you think that's going to make it easy, oh boy, think again. The Uberreich is coming and it is terrifying with all of that extra technology. So Germany is default, and then basically everyone that can go communist is going communist. There are some notable exceptions. One of them is Czechoslovakia. That's because I don't want Czechoslovakia to trigger the World War too early and thereby have all the communist nations in Europe die before they really have a chance to get going. But basically every single person is going communist. The United States is currently set at default, but obviously we're playing them. And we are indeed going to go communist. But that's not all, because I've also added some mods to the game, which I think will make it A, a little bit easier, and B, just a little bit more fun. So here are the 3 mods that I've added. All subjects give spies. In the default game, only, I believe, supervised nations give additional spy slots when they're in your faction, but they're also your subject. But this mod that I've made means that all subjects will grant spies. Subjects grant spies based on the number of factories they have, either 0.25 when they have 10 to 50 factories, or if you have 50 plus factories, they give 0.5 spy slots. So we're going to be able to get a bunch of spy slots if we can get ourselves a bunch of puppets. Next, exile governments give fleets. So in the vanilla experience, exiled governments have about a 75% chance when they have a fleet larger than 25 ships to refuse to give you their fleet. I believe those are the numbers. I've changed it so that exile governments will always give you a fleet when you request it from them. Next up, Exiles for all ideologies. There was a mod that did this a long time ago, but it was outdated, so I remade it, which means that as communists, we're still able to get exile governments and all the bonuses that they bring, which will be fun, especially if we can get the Soviet Union as an exile government, because that will be hilarious. That's infinite manpower and a lot of good combat bonuses in a lot of the area where we're likely to be fighting. So that strikes me as something that could be really good fun. Okay, so enough preamble. I'm going to start playing as the United States. This is likely to be a long campaign, and I'm mostly recording it just because I want to have my success, if indeed it is a success, go down in recorded history. I'm going to pause the recording, and then basically I'm going to restart it when I think something particularly dramatic happens that I want to show you, and I'll show you the kind of main points in our campaign. But generally this is going to be a mostly off-camera campaign as I play as the United States. We're going to go communist, first off. I can't remember how you do that. I'm pretty sure you go down here, right? Old age pensions, sounds pretty communist. We're going to go down here and then we're going to go Unholy Alliance, join the Comintern, try and take over the Comintern, and try and encourage all of the many communist nations or soon-to-be communist nations of Europe to join the Comintern so that when they all inevitably fall to the Uberreich, we can get them as exile governments. And then we'll get loads of manpower, loads of cool generals, loads of fleets, and we'll see what we can do with all of that in order to keep things under control. That's the plan. I'm going to give it a go. So we're going down, continue the New Deal, and we're going to, spend the prosecution, do some reach out to the wear-group stuff, and get our communist advisors. Something I've realized, I've literally never gone communist in the United States. So, except in Kaiserreich that one time ages ago. So I have no idea what we're doing. We're probably going to have a civil war, and I think it'll be more fun if I just don't look up what's going to happen, and it all goes horribly wrong. So I'm looking forward to that. Total Chaos Civil War Simulator. Here we go. I recognize that some of you may not believe me. This is going to be incredibly challenging, especially because I put myself on civilian difficulty. Just take a quick look at this. They've got between 100 and 150 factories on military equipment, 20 or so on tanks, and between 34 and 62 on planes. For context, right now I got 10 military factories. This is going to be unbelievably challenging. They also are going to get tons and tons more manpower than normal because they have the stuff from mass assault. Is going to be a disaster. And I thought of another thing. Each one of those factories, of which they have a stupidly huge number, is working like 1.5, 2.5 or so times harder than each of our factories to produce even infantry equipment that's like 10 times better. So we're in trouble. So despite being communists, and this might break it, in which case I'll just start again, we're doing Arsenal Democracy and then Scientist Haven, which requires you to be democratic, because I really want the extra research slot. So we're going to do that and then go communist, which I think still works and means we do get to still end up with 6 research slots. I believe that works. We also get a bunch of extra military factories and some naval dockyards here, which is really nice. Here it is, the first event. Yugoslavia has recognized the Soviet Union. Interesting. Soviet influence spreads. So there's going to be lots of events like that, I expect, firing up. Like Turkey, Bulgaria, Greece, Romania, Yugoslavia. All of these lot are going communist. So we'll see. We'll see what that causes. I imagine there's going to be fighting between them, and then maybe one of them will join the Soviet Union, and it's all gonna go to hell. But that's okay. The savior of communism, the United States, is going to save the world from the evil Uberreich. Yes, I made a mistake. As I suspected, we can't do Union Representation Act if we have completed Neutrality Act. So never mind. I'm just going to go back to the beginning and redo this first bit. No problem. So this is one of the big ones. The UK is conceding to trade unions, and I don't know what that's going to lead to, because when they revisit colonial policy... Okay, so he goes guide colonies. Right, so he's basically going to liberate everybody and decolonize. And this will be interesting because he's decolonizing while everyone else is trying to go communist. So I wonder if people are going to start declaring independence before he has a chance. And by he, I mean the United Kingdom. I'm not sure why I've decided that's a man. I suppose Baldwin. I'm not sure if they're going to try declare independence first, or if England is going to grant them, and by England I mean the United Kingdom, is going to grant them independence first. So we'll see. It'll be interesting either way. And the idea is they go communist, and once the world is communist, we then get a choice, right? We can either let them into our communist faction, or we can kill them. And because they're communist, they shouldn't join the Axis, and therefore Germany won't be a problem. By the way, I have left Italy alive. In previous iterations, sometimes I annex Switzerland and Italy into Germany. I think Italy being alive will be fun as a kind of soft underbelly situation. So That's what we're doing this time. Okay, there we go. Communist Revolutionary Earl Browder. Welcome. We're going to get some communist growth. It's going to take some time, but we got an economy to fix in the meantime, so we got time. Okay, here it goes. Civil war in Japan. The communists are gonna lose, I think. Don't have enough intel for much stuff on them, but they're probably gonna lose. And I'm pretty sure there's nothing we can do about it right now. I can't send volunteers or anything like that. So we're just gonna cross our fingers. Ideally, the communists win, but if they don't win, it's not the worst thing in the world. The fact that there's a civil war will still weaken Japan, which is good. But yeah, good luck, communists. Meanwhile, civil war in Mexico. They're one of the very few I didn't set to go communist, just because I thought it'd be interesting to have fascist power on our borders. So, you know, what could go wrong? I imagine this is where I can try and avoid a civil war, which I am going to do. We must avoid escalating the situation. I can afford to lose 10% stability. We can get that back. I don't want to move towards a civil war, because if we can avoid it, that'll be really good. So, let's give it a go. Well, it's our best shot. It's not going to work, but I'm going to send an attaché to Spain, because they're doing quite well against the National Spanish so far. They will not accept. Amazing. They have too low opinion about us, minus 100. How high does their opinion have to be? I will check. Okay, turns out the answer is probably 25, or maybe 20. Either way, we're sending the attaché, it will give them some more war support, and we'll get some of their army experience gain, which would be nice. We're exercising like the entire Navy, which is why we're getting so much naval experience, by the way. The Navy is going to be really problematic. The one upside that we have in this, I mean, one of the several upsides, because we have the civilian difficulty as well, is that I didn't give them any more naval dockyards. But they do have 1944 tech hulls, so I'm very, very scared. But we'll see, we'll see. I think if we can unite the Americas and maybe get like a Japanese government in exile or something, then we'll be in good shape. Meanwhile, Japanese People's Republic have made small gains in the south and have lost ground in the north, and so are probably going to lose. Yeah, Spanish Civil War's ongoing. What else is going on in the world? That's about it. Mexican junta, how do you pronounce it? Junta, are doing all right. Yeah, things are going on. We are 30% communist, and Congress loves us, so we're making progress. But yeah, I really would like to see the Spanish win the Civil War, because then they're gonna go and join the Comintern, which would be helpful. Oh crap! And immediately after we did that, turns out I thought we were going to be able to avoid the Civil War. Maybe not. Protests escalated into violence. Tensions have escalated another protest in the capital today. Another mass protest called by, among others, the Civil Legion of America. Blood has been spilt. We must expect that more will be spilt before this is over. I thought, because we had such a massive majority, we were going to be able to avoid it. That was the impression the events gave me, but I guess not. I'm going to keep trying to keep these numbers really, really high, in case that has much of an impact. We're also doing a massive infrastructure building campaign, because we're in it for the long haul, so I think that'll be good. And yeah, we're doing a Community Wealth Act, getting rid of the depression, because we can. Well, we may have a civil war, but I mean, that's fine. It'll give us some army XP, at the very least. Okay, Qing China has just broken off and declared war on Japan. That might help the communist cause, so that could be interesting. Go Qing. Seems good. And they've made more progress in the south. Pushed all the way down to the bottom of... What's the big island called? I've forgotten. Outrageous. Honshu, that's right. They've pushed to this bottom of Honshu. And so maybe that'll let them... I mean, they're probably the ones attacking across here, which is a really bad idea. They need to consolidate the north, but they have a chance. It has occurred to me that blueprint stealing against the Germans is going to be insanely effective, but it will be really difficult because they have really good ciphers. So I'm going to try and upgrade my Office of Strategic Services to try and have a really good decryption and stuff, and then we're going to try and steal some like insanely advanced blueprints against the Uberreich themselves, which will be should be good fun. Well, so much for avoiding war. The Confederate United States exists, and I imagine a bunch of our troops are about to get taken away from us, so I'm going to put them all on a front line up here. Also, I messed up. You're supposed to take this focus, like, you know, literally 26 days faster than I did, but because I didn't do that, the unaligned states of America have formed. But that's okay, we should be able to get them back. They are cowards, certainly, but at least not enemies. And then secession, at 9 a.m. today, 8 a.m. today. Call it what it is, treason. So I'm just going to pull what forces we have back here and then see if we can win this civil war with a minimum of fuss. All right, there are the actual borders. It's kicked off. A house divided. We've been here before, haven't we? Let's teach them a lesson again, shall we? And beat the Confederate States into submission. Should be pretty easy, to be honest. See how the numbers line up. They have... Oh, okay. Well, it's partly just because that intel is bad, but they might have quite a few men. I do have all these divisions, which I chose not to deploy. Ha ha ha. So, boom. Suddenly, 21 large divisions all ready for combat. Let's do it. Oh, jeez, oh, fuck, oh, Christ. The Germans have shown up. So there are German volunteers. How many have they sent? You can see how many they've sent, right? No, you can't. But I see 2 of their divisions. Oh, crap, here's another one. Oh, here's another one. Oh my god, there's more. That's real bad. Yeah, they have 540 attack without any planning bonus. We need to win this war, and we need to do it now. Nice. So, this is the first time on 2 fronts that we have ever defeated members of the army of the Uberreich in this campaign. With 4 of my larger divisions defending in the mountains, with 6 of my divisions attacking an encircled position in the plains. And there's only one thing that is appropriate as a reaction to this glorious, glorious state of affairs.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Genuinely is exactly what went through my head as soon as I saw that we were pushing these guys back. Nice. We did it. Let's go. We will obviously take it all. Supervised state. Yes, maybe not. Boom. We lost very, very few men. We get a bunch of volunteers. We will integrate them into the army. Just take the manpower and the equipment. Cool. And now, I think we don't have cores on this stuff down here anymore. Occupied state. Yeah, so there's going to be resistance in the south for a bit. Jesus, the Germans sent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 fucking volunteers. We're doomed. If we ever go to war with a fascist nation, Germany's going to send so many volunteers. Oh, no, okay, right, because as soon as Germany's in a war, they can't send volunteers. Thank God, that will save us. So we can integrate these guys somehow. I'm not quite sure how that works. I think you have to take reintegration. Yeah. And then you unlock decision, readmit state to union. And then you start the process of making cores. Okay, so we can recore the area that we lost and hopefully reintegrate the unaligned states, I have to imagine. But yeah, good stuff. That was the war. Didn't take long. I didn't check when it started, but didn't seem like very long. Oh, hey, we can check the this thing. When did it start? March to May. It's not that fast, but hey, we pulled it off. Not too bad. Okay, nice. Neutral block dissolves, so they just come back. We annex them. With the end of the war, the state neutral bloc have announced they will end the various laws and measures put in place to maintain their neutrality. Cool. And do we get to core it immediately? Yes, so we just straight recore it. Okay, so it didn't really matter that they actually declared independence. Good stuff. And they still have all our massive infrastructure projects. Cool. Oh, I totally missed this. Nice. Qing government is independent, and they're now the imperial Kwantung, not sure, territories. And Japan is communist and independent. Let's go. That's awesome news. That means there will not be the war in China, and we should be able to get Japan into our faction, which is very handy. UK is almost communist. I don't know what their actual path to making the official switch is. And unfortunately, our spy has been captured in Germany, so that's unfortunate. Meanwhile, on the home front, South is getting rowdy, but that's okay. We're going to push towards reintegrating them pretty soon, as well as becoming properly communist pretty soon, which will be should be good stuff. What? Okay, Germany has declared war on Czechoslovakia and is therefore at war with France. I didn't expect that. Maybe we should create a faction with France so we can try and get their exile government. But then everyone we declare war on is going to join the German faction. This is problematic. I think we just have to let France fall. They don't want to join us anyway. Never mind. Too late. They joined the Allies. And we can't join the Allies because there's not enough world tension. So Germany's going to capitulate France. Whether they capitulate England will be interesting to see. That means Germany's now going to be at war with all of the British people's puppets. That really sucks because I thought we were going to be able to get some of the British puppets for ourselves. And we're now going to see just the true terror that is the insane German Reich that we have created. Because they're going to absolutely mince through France, which is you know, scary. I don't have a tank designer yet, so I shouldn't do that. Do this ahead of time. But yeah, that's problematic. At least it means they're in a war, and I don't know whether they'll be able to land in England. I imagine their air force will obliterate the Royal Navy, but that is a shame because I thought we might be able to get England into our faction, and then we could have an English. We could steal their navy. That's problematic, but hey ho, we'll see how this war goes. Oh wow, Portugal has joined the Spanish Civil War on the Republican side. They are communist. That could turn the tide, but I mean, they don't seem to have quite enough men to be really doing it. But that could be enough to turn the tide, especially because Spain, nationalist Spain that is, has just lost access to all its German volunteers that were no doubt being a huge part of its war effort. So there is chance yet for a Red Spain. Germany actually might be having some trouble because they haven't made any headway for a little bit. The Croatians, the Czechoslovakians, the Czechs that is to say, have level 7 forts on their entire border. That's pretty good. Ah, not quite their entire border. Down here they could sneak in, and they are now at war with Luxembourg, who I imagine won't hold long. But they might struggle to push through the Sudetenland now. And the early war, I mean, it might benefit England, but we'll see. War in Spain, as ever, raging on. Man, I have no idea why Germany is advancing so incredibly slowly, but they're making absolutely no progress. I wonder why. Are they just messed up by being too good? The AI can't comprehend the power it has at its disposal. Okay, they just signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, and they're still not advancing. I suspect it's because the AI can't handle the fact that there are level 7 forts here, which means it might, and they're not advancing on this front either, maybe because they're trying to like shorten their front line by winning on this side sooner or something. So I'm not sure this will actually, like, I think they might make no progress until they declare war on Poland. It's a weird situation that's kind of letting the UK and France you know, continue to industrialize and build up, so could be good. Oh, never mind. There they go. Rip. I wonder where they broke through. But one way or the other, there goes Czechoslovakia, who's capitulated because apparently they didn't actually join the Allies. Interesting. And not long after, hooray, democratic socialism. We are now the communist USA. The Communist States of America. Excellent. Does that get rid of undisturbed isolation? It doesn't. How the hell do I get rid of undisturbed isolation? Do I have to just be at war? Is that the only way? This seems bad. I really need to get rid of that. Surely I can get rid of that somehow? Maybe I do just have to be at war. Because you can get rid of it with giant wakes normally, right? Yeah. But I can't do that. Maybe I'll get an event to get rid of it. But anyway, we're going to desegregate first. And then liberate the Philippines. And then probably try and join the Comintern. Seems fun. Oh, and just as I say that, moments later, Poland has just refused a German ultimatum. Which means goodbye Poland. I imagine at great speed, unlike with Czechoslovakia. Yes. Surprising no one. I think this will be hasty. Who the heck is that? The British Antilles. Ah, right, because Britain has decolonized. Wow. That is quite the patchwork that you have created there, Britain. Interesting. Anyway, yes, so Poland will rapidly vanish. They did join the Allies, so that's good at least. There will be some resistance, some stronger resistance. We can get a new agent. Seducers are pretty good. And we're going to start trying to infiltrate Germany, steal some of their technology. I need to infiltrate this infiltration first, I think. So we will... We'll give that a go. But yes, goodbye Poland. As you can see, they are They are melting at quite a pace. And yes, there they go. Some of it will probably get given to the Soviets in just a minute. There it goes. We could immediately also join the Comintern, by the way. We should do that, actually, because that might get them to call us in against Finland. So here is the moment. I seek to join the Comintern. I serve the Soviet Union and all that. So how do we... Remind me how we take over the faction. Take over faction. Need... To sufficiently exceed the deployed manpower of the current leader and its subjects, we and our subjects need to have effective 3 million deployed. Okay, so we need to deploy a crap ton more people, and we need another 60 factories. Both of these are highly doable. In fact, I think I have... I have 780,000 people in training right now, because we're just finishing out our 40 width division. Just a little bit more XP to put the last finishing touches on that. And then we can take control of the Comintern. And once we're in control of the Comintern, we can start trying to invite all of these places that are going communist, like Yugoslavia and the Turkish Socialist Republic and all that good stuff. I don't know. I think because they're at war with Germany already, which is unfortunate, but because they're at war with Germany already, we won't be able to invite places like the Raj, South Africa, Australia, even if they do go communist, or Canada, because they're already in the Allies, right? But is there any way around that? Yeah, so if England falls, and by England I mean the United Kingdom, as well as France, and the puppets are untouched, I believe they will just get liberated in the peace deal, as opposed to actually falling under Germany. At that point, maybe we can invite them into the Comintern and have them help our war machine. Meanwhile, the conflict rages on down here. Can we help at all yet? Oh, we actually can. We can send volunteers to Spain. Amazing. So I will do that, and I'll send volunteers to Spain and Portugal so we can start maybe seeing if we can push back the nationalists. And then they're another excellent candidate later to join the Comintern. Okay, Germany at war with the Netherlands now. Surely this will be the moment where they manage to break through. I'm very confused as to why the Germans are doing so badly. Okay, now they finally seem to be making some breakthroughs. But I don't know why they're doing so badly on this front. I guess because there was that moment of stagnation, which means the Allies had a chance to kind of muster their defenses. But still, like, they really, really should be doing a lot better than they already are. But we've got a bunch of volunteers going to try and make them do even worse. I mean, there's no problem. Like, if the Germans do badly, that's fine, because they're still going to be incredibly difficult. They're going to eventually capitulate France. But yeah, we have about 20 divisions going over to try and help the Allies. Slow them down, get us some XP as well. Oh, okay, now we're communist, we can just change, and we can just go straight to war economy. We don't need to worry about being called into a war. Good. That means our volunteers can keep going, which apparently they're needed, because the Spanish are falling apart all of a sudden. Oh, Christ. Their infantry has 1,200 support, and they have plus 40% from air support. Oh my god. This is a disaster. It's a complete disaster. Oh no! A rival faction has been born. The Corfu Cooperative. With Greece, Yugoslavia, Portugal, and Spain. No! We need you in the Comintern! You fools! Communism must stand united or we are doomed. And I'm refusing calls to arms so I can keep using my volunteers. But if we ever need to get these guys out of being encircled, we can obviously just accept a call to arms and suddenly they all vanish. Crap. France has fallen. There go my volunteers. That's unfortunate. Oh well. The Spanish and Portuguese are still holding on, but now they're not even going to be able to join the Comintern. So what's the freaking point? And I'm very nervous there's about to be a sea lion landings, which could cause all kinds of problems. Nice. Okay, we can finally go to war economy. Let's do it. Boom. That's going to radically increase the number of civilian factories we have pumping on our factory production. And then we can really start to freaking get a... what's the word I'm looking for? Militarize. We're also probably going to go to war with... Well, the problem is if I declare on Catholic Mexico, they're probably going to join the Axis. So I don't think I can really declare war on them. Because that would be a problem. I don't want to go to war with the Axis yet. Because they have a non-aggression pact with the Soviet Union, but not with me. So I think instead we might have to like, go after Colombia or something. Then they might join the Allies. Being with the war with the Allies, it would be a pain. It would be frustrating to have to be at war with the Allies. They are getting massacred in Egypt, rather. Italy is doing a number on them. But Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we do there. This might be... I feel like this campaign is spiraling towards disaster, mostly because everyone is not joining the Comintern. The idea was we'd get a big Comintern, but it's not really going that way. Yeah! Let's do it. Stalinist victory in the Spanish Civil War. But they're not Stalinist, they're freaking Corfu Cooperative. Which is annoying, but oh well. They still won, which is good. Let's check out that ideology map mode. How's it spreading? No, not factions. That one's annoying. I don't think I have ideology map mode bound. There it is. Communism's spreading pretty well. We've got, obviously, Soviets, but also Japan. Japan's a good one. We need to make sure they join our faction. I need to take over the faction is what I need to do, so I can actually start, you know, getting things going here. We need another 1 million men deployed, another 70 factories. Oh, crap. I think that number's gone up. But we are making a lot of factories now. Thing is, so are the Soviets, probably. Well, not as many as us. But, yeah, we need a bunch more men. Bunch more men deployed. We're trying. We're banging through some equipment, but, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot to, you know, trying to catch up with military might deployed of the Soviets. It's a bit of an ask. Oh, what the heck? I was just looking at Spain, and they have this recovering from civil war thing, but they're also in the Comintern? So I guess because they took the path, but it wasn't a focus even. I guess one of their focuses, or one of the decisions they made, involves having to join. Right, because they become a puppet. That's right. Okay, so they're a puppet of the Soviet Union right now. Okay. Can I get an exile government from someone else's puppet? I'm not sure. Wait, the thing is, we need to overtake the Soviets. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to overtake the Soviets in a cheesy way. I'm going to train and deploy a bunch of military police divisions, which are insanely cheap to make and produce, so that we can take over leadership of the faction. So we need to take over. We need 3.38 million men. We have, yes, a few more than that. Oh, God. It's going to take a while. This is a deficit of 1,000 days. That's not great. Palestine has capitulated. Yes, Germany is joining Italy in the rush for Africa, which is not great. But we need to take over, because then we can make sure we get the Spanish. Because the Spanish government exile will be useful, because they have a navy. And I want this. I need these ships. They're going to be very valuable for the fight against the Germans for control of the Atlantic. Oh, crap. This could cause problems. The formerly Qing government has joined the Axis, and Xinjiang has joined the Comintern, and they're at war with each other, which means... Pretty sure the Soviets are going to be at war with Germany real soon. No, not yet. They're justifying on Romania, though, even though Romania's going communist. Well, it hasn't triggered a war yet. Oh, Norway's falling, by the way. Hasn't triggered a war yet. How are you at war with Xinjiang, anyway? You don't even border them, you moron. They are now at war with the Allies. Are you in the Comintern yet? We need to get the Japanese in the Comintern before they like somehow form their own faction or something. Well, it hasn't called the Soviets in yet, but we'll see. Oh, crap. Yep, as expected, this has caused early war because they are now at war with everyone, and the communists are being called in. Germany breaks the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. That's really not good. Do we accept this call to arms? I think we have to. Which means this campaign, I think, is a failure. I think we might have to try again. Because this is really bad. The UK wants to provide a lend-lease. That's good. I thought we were going to be able to like unite the Americas before we went to war with Germany. Maybe we shouldn't do communist, man. Maybe we should do... fascist, because fascist gets way more aggressive war goals. Yeah, maybe that's the way to do it. Because I mean, look at this. The communists are absolutely melting against the Germans. I mean, they do normally at this point, but I mean, like, look at some of these battles. They're trying to launch this attack. Oh my God, they have one attack. Right, because this is one of the 10 fort provinces. Oh no. Hey, China joined the Comintern though. That's good news. Get the freaking Japanese in here. these guys at least should be able to be contained. With Japan plus Mongolia plus the Soviet forces, should at least be able to take them out. Lots of people offering us lots of support equipment, and lots of people want non-aggression. Yes, that's all fine. And we have some more political power. We are in a war support. It's a defensive war at least, which gives us war support. That's good. We don't really need to stop being a disarmed nation because we have full desegregation, which lets the manpower recruitable population rather go up to like 2.5 or 3% or so. So we don't really need that. I think we need a... Yeah, we're really behind on air tech because I was just letting that fall behind because I didn't think we needed it yet. I think we should probably go ahead of time on naval bombers for our carriers, but I don't know. This is a pretty bad situation. We've got a good alliance gathered against the Germans here, including China, which is obviously, you know, better than normal. But I think as soon as the Germans master their forces on this border, the Soviets are going to just absolutely melt. Good thing about that, though... Okay, good. We're in the civil administration of Germany now. So let's go back over. Can we become the spy master, even though we're not the head dude? I can't remember. We got some Japanese volunteers. Okay, yeah. Here's the German offensive. Look at some of these. Oh God, 1,400 breakthrough on their light tanks. The thing is, as more and more of the Soviets die, it becomes easier and easier to take over the faction. So that's good, at least. I guess what we'll do is we'll see how it looks with the Soviet government in exile in our country, if we do manage to do that. Oh, hey, and they have joined... Oh, no, they've just ceded Bessarabia. Don't make them cede Bessarabia. They're mostly communists. Make them join the freaking faction, you fools. We also need 200 political power to take over the faction. I'm not sure if we're even going to get 200 political power before, like, they lose the war. But we'll see. Because their factory count should go down as well as they lose ground. But they're not at high stability. What's the surrender limit on the Soviet Union right now? 20% or less, so they should be okay. Okay, free military factories. Yes, make me an ungodly number of infantry weapons, please. And also some more support equipment. And some more artillery. Yeah, I mean, look at these overruns. It's a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. But the number of men we need deployed is going down. Oh my God. Look at the number of men we need deployed. It's going down so fast. The losses. The losses. They're at 1.4 million already. It's only been going on for a month. This is a disaster. At least we're making headway in China. But, I mean, the Germans are just going to do this to everyone they come across at the moment. The war has to happen later in order for this to work. I don't know, man. I think this is a fail. We need way more political power as well. All right. Well, I no longer need to deploy my meme divisions, so just cancel them and start training proper ones again. Because what we're actually going to be short of is political power, as it turns out. Oh God, the losses are mounting so quickly. Yeah, if you didn't believe me earlier that this Germany is dangerous, look at this Soviet front line. There are no troops on the Soviet front line. And that's not because the AI is derping out. It's because they're all dead. I don't know if we're going to be able to take control of the faction before they actually capitulate. It's going to be a close run thing. We're not going to take another focus after this one. Jesus Christ, it's a lot of... Yes, okay, you can all have non-aggression pacts. And anyone who wants to can give me volunteers. Please, just don't bother me. We have bigger problems right now. But I mean, this is obviously a complete disaster. On the bright side, we have new planes. Yeah, I mean, we could take over the faction right now, but we need the extra political power. Which at least we're going to get in, well, no, not very long. They only have to hold out for about 30 days. Less, even. and then we can take over the faction and get a Soviet government in exile, which is pretty fun. However badly the whole thing is going right now, having a Soviet government in exile is fun. Plus, it'll be useful for me to test if my mod actually works when it's a major, because I haven't tested that yet. And we can request the Soviet fleet from them, and then see if we can get it out, which we will not be able to do. We'd have to do like naval landings both sides of here. But yes, it's a bit of a disaster. I guess we'll do the two nation navies act next. Moscow and Stalingrad are going to fall basically unopposed. At least China's doing well. Oh god, Communist China, are you in? Okay, no. Good, I was going to say. Communist China is in their own faction, and they like the Japanese. No, don't get the Japanese in your faction. We need them. Moscow is... they are holding it. They have tanks ready. Get those medium tanks going. Oh, it's a complete shambles. Oh no, and they called in the Spanish. That was a bad idea. They could have just not called in the Spanish. That would have been so handy. If they'd not called in the Spanish and then kept them, we could have used them as like a place to base our ships out of, a neutral port. That would have been so helpful. Yeah. Yeah. This is not exactly going to work. We only have 56 military factories, and the Soviets are about to capitulate. I really should have given them an attaché, by the way. Oh yeah, okay. Let's be appropriate here. We need some Soviet songs. It seems only appropriate. The March to Red Square. It's a very appropriate name because that's what the Germans are about to be doing. We've got these tanks will hold strong. I have every faith in this little stubby gun. Should I go ahead of time on this? Probably not. I mean, none of this matters because we're doomed, right? Wow, we're researching incredibly quickly, though. This is... okay, finally. We can take over the faction. Assume leadership of the Comintern. Glorious. We are the faction leader. Which means when the Soviets inevitably capitulate... They're only halfway, but... It's annoying that they're not going to get Yugoslavia and Portugal and stuff joining us, though. It's a shame. There is the fall of Moscow. Is this the end of the Soviet Union? Asks the game. Yes! Yes, probably. Oh, right, yeah. And we're steadily readmitting states, but you can only readmit them one at a time. Which means it takes a really long time, especially when you have to use all your political power to take over from the darn Soviet Union. So we're going to build all these military factories, and we're not even going to have access to most of them for a while. It's a bit of a disaster. Oh, that's interesting. A whole bunch of people just peaced out with the Germans because England finished their decolonization program, which means that yeah, lots of places like Zambia. Oh no, Zambia did stayed in, but we're pieced out. Yeah, so Zimbabwe, the Coalition of Free Commonwealth States, are now at peace with Germany. So I guess we could go to war with them. But yeah, meanwhile, things not going so hot for the old Soviet Union. We'll check in again when they capitulate. Okay, there they go. The Soviet Union has capitulated. We now have the Soviet Union as a government in exile. Their legitimacy is 100. Some equipment was evacuated. We got 6,000 infantry equipment and a bunch of other random stuff. Cool. That's not great. Oh god, and a whole ton of Chinese divisions were encircled up there. That's really bad. But yeah, so it looks like it does work at least. We have the Soviet Union as exiles. That's cool. We can get exile air wings. And I think as soon as the day ends, or maybe the month, it will unlock all these other stuff. Yes, we've got some Soviet exile leaders offering service. So we can now have glorious US divisions led by... Who here looks Soviet to you? There we go. Pavel. Whoops. Pavel. Pavel will save us with his cavalry leader skills. I believe we'll get a bunch more of those, yeah. As these continue to tick on. But that's good. I'm glad it does work. The mod to allow us to have collaborations from anyone. It's on Steam, by the way. If you want to use that, if you Google Exiles for All, you should be able to find it. But meanwhile, I think I'm calling this a loss here. We needed to be substantially stronger by the time the Soviet Union fell. As it is, we are not doing so hot. But hey, it was a fun ride. I'm not sure what I would do differently to win next time, but I will come back and I will try. I will try again. If you want to try the challenge for yourself, all you need to do is tag, like, start the game as the US, or as whoever you want to try it as, tag to Germany, and then use the console command research all, like that. And then they get all the tech, and then you can use IC, instant construction, and then just build whatever you want to build within their nation to make them stronger, and then try and take them on. It's a good time. Either way, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Different format, because I didn't feel like doing this as a full campaign. I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.